I gotta believe, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they Mark Shifley was interviewed today, this afternoon, and yeah, it was a pretty powerful interview. He got emotional at one point, but it was a really good interview. You know, he did well. He's taken accountability for it, and he's going to serve the 4-game suspension, and then hopefully he can get back in the lineup if the Jets are still in it. So.
Is that what they issued, 4 games?
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was brutal to watch. Like it was, but that was a great catch. Like your post about, I don't remember the name of the player that was basically trying to wall off the
dealers.
Yeah, that was super impressive that he was just in the middle of that, heads up about trying to protect the guy.
Very classy. Yeah, very classy in the spur of the moment. Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome. We're just getting started. We are live on YouTube, just so that everyone's aware of that, okay? And actually, while you're coming in, I have a poll. So let me launch that. Let's get the right one here. All right, so feel free. This is anonymous. And we still, we're just getting started, so we're going to add to it. But Juneteenth is coming up on June 19th. And the leadership team was talking last week about how do we recognize Juneteenth. Last year, it was a paid day off. And, we were right in the thick of the Black Lives Matter protests, if you recall, and just the civil unrest that was happening for a lot of reasons. George Floyd, obviously, the murder of George Floyd having taken place. So, a lot going on a year ago. But the leadership team really wants to find the right way, the appropriate way to continue to recognize Juneteenth. So just thought I would take this opportunity to be able to get your input. So as you're coming in, please go ahead and if you would take the poll. Again, it is anonymous. So no one will know. I will not know who answered what. Social events, and the thought is that could be an idea of like, that could surround food or something, a service event, historical or cultural, educational event, or events. And then the last idea was exchanging a PTO day to make it an official holiday. So let me just explain that a little bit more. The idea would be, we give 3 PTOs to everyone, every 3 PTO days a year. And those were once past holidays. And the thought was we would exchange one of those PTOs and make Juneteenth an official holiday, which would mean we would recognize it on either the Friday or the Monday, depending on when it fell, or the actual day, So just throwing this stuff out, feel free to take the poll. Happy Pride Month as well. This is a great month of the year where we celebrate LGBTQ friends and loved ones and neighbors and just our coworkers. And so we'll probably bring another poll to you next week about ways that we can recognize Pride Month. But just very excited to be part of an organization that is as inclusive as St. John's is. And we want to continue to raise that level of inclusion and certainly celebrate Pride Month. So we will be doing that throughout the course of the month in a variety of different ways. It's 2:35. We'll give this a couple more minutes. Not as many people here so far. So 81 in Tennessee and Cedar Grove. Oh, that's cool, Anna. A nice picnic on the lake. That's very good. All right, we'll give it a couple more minutes. We got a few people watching on YouTube, and I'm going to I thought I did sign in the chat. Not gonna worry about that right now. All right. Go ahead and take the poll if you would. Again, it's anonymous as you're coming in and just joining us. Happy Friday. Happy Pride Month. Welcome to Town Hall. All right. Okay. All right. How we doing? Let's see, we got about 20 people or so. We're gonna give it just another minute or two. See if anyone else jumps on. We've got 5 watching on YouTube. This is one of our more sparsely attended town halls, and I wonder if it's because of the holiday, of the Memorial Day holiday, just people traveling and out, and it's finally summer, and people can get out and go do things and explore, and it's a nice place to be again, isn't it? So I hope that you all had a wonderful Memorial Day holiday weekend. I hope that you were able to enjoy time with loved ones in person. Brittany saying a lot of vacations this week for DC. Cannot blame anyone for that. And they probably got some decent weather. All right, well, hey, we're gonna get started. You know, we're a small but mighty group. So we'll get started this afternoon. And again, welcome to Town Hall. If you haven't had a chance to take the poll, please do that. Launch the Juneteenth poll. It's in progress. We've got a few people that haven't taken it. It is anonymous, 100%. So I don't know who actually has or hasn't taken it or what your response is. But the leadership team last week was talking about how to best recognize Juneteenth this year. And I'm just gonna mute everyone. And so we'd love your input. It doesn't mean that however the poll plays out necessarily is how we're gonna do it, but we certainly would like your input. And I gotta see if we can add write-in options. I wonder if that's a possibility. So far, we got a lot of love for exchanging a PTO day to make it an official holiday. That's pretty cool. So we give we each get 3 PTO days a year. So the idea there is that we would take one of those back. So you'd have 2 PTO days. I know this year's a different year because we had carry over with COVID, but in a normal year, you get 3. And so we would take one back, and then we would declare Juneteenth an official holiday, and we would recognize it when, you know, we'd have to figure out what day to recognize it now, but when it doesn't actually fall June 19th. All right. Or when June 19th doesn't fall on a weekend. I guess we could technically recognize it on a weekend and just close it in either the Friday or the Monday. Okay, and then also just want to say happy Pride Month. So just wonderful to be able to work for an organization that celebrates inclusion and diversity and the uniqueness of each person and their right and opportunity and our celebration of everyone's ability to live their very best life. So it's an exciting opportunity to recognize that, and we will be doing that through the course of the month. No COVID update this week. So Precious is taking a very well-earned vacation this week, and she's usually the supplier of those details for me. And so I don't have that for this week, and that is okay. So I did get a report from New York. So I do know that we have 1 active positive case in New York. That's up from a week ago, I believe. And let me just mute everyone again. If you could just mute yourself, that'd be great as you're coming in. Appreciate that. But anyway, but we'll get a fuller update next week once Precious is back in town and we can kind of find out what's going on the COVID front. But nonetheless, we do know that COVID is still an issue. We do know that the people that we support, as well as our staff, are still facing it, dealing with it, and working through it with their loved ones. And so let's just take a moment of reflection together and have a moment of silence in honor of those who are facing it now and those who have faced it over the course of the last year. If you would join me. Okay, thank you. I read an article this week, and it was, it was about those who, even though the numbers are going down, and that's a wonderful thing. We're seeing numbers drop dramatically, and so we're coming out of this thing, which is great, coming out of the pandemic. But people are still dying. I mean, and you've got family members who are just grieving such a loss, that at the tail end of the pandemic, when there's light at the end of the tunnel and there's hope for the future, they've lost loved ones right at the end. And it doesn't diminish the loss of hundreds of thousands of loved ones over the course of the pandemic at all, but it's just yet another example of just how terrible the pandemic has been and continues to be for those that are caught in its wake currently. So again, as always, I want to encourage people to consider getting the vaccination. It's widely available at this point in time, and pretty much go on your state's website, your city's website, and you'll be able to find a location where you can get vaccinated. Certainly, we understand that and we respect people's freedom of choice to get vaccinated. There's reasons why people are choosing not to, some for religious reasons, as an example. Some because there hasn't been longitudinal tests on the vaccine. But at the same time, I would just encourage you all to consider getting vaccinated. And in doing so, make sure that you talk to your healthcare provider. And if you do get vaccinated, please upload that documentation into Paycom so that we've got an accurate record of that. We do know that at some point in time, that will be required of us. We're anticipating. And interestingly enough, there are kind of rules coming down now that are saying, from the federal government, that are saying that organizations can and companies can require vaccination at this point in time of their employees. So just to be clear, St. John's is not taking that position at this time. Vaccination is not a requirement for your employment at this time. Not saying that it's not something that we would consider for the future. I think we'll continue to follow kind of recommendations from local health officials and regulatory agencies that we work with before making those kind of decisions. So it's quite possible that in the future, that Medicaid, that the agencies that we work with directly may say, because of the vulnerable populations that we work with, that if you're a staff person that works in direct support, that it could be required, unless you have some sort of religious waiver or reason why you would not pursue that. But that is not the case so far that we know. So we will try to keep you up to date on that as well. Again, if you're just joining us, please go ahead and take the poll on Juneteenth. And then also just want to say happy Pride Month. And I'm wondering if next week we do a poll on how are you going to celebrate Pride Month this month. So and just in support and solidarity for our loved ones in the LGBTQ community. All right, let me pause there, and I'd like to open it up for updates. And again, we're a small but mighty crew this week, but we still have things to share. And one of the things that we'll definitely touch on is open enrollment. But before we do that, I just wanted to open up the floor and see if anyone from the leadership team, regional directors, or anywhere else has some key updates for us that they want to make people aware of.
Hey, Alan, I can jump in. I don't know who else is on the call, but for DC, just continuing to reach out to the staff or encourage the staff to, start reviewing all of the training documents. We have PCR coming up in a week. Well, no, 10 days. And so all the trainings that the PCs and program directors and everyone, your managers are hounding you for, please do your due diligence, take those trainings, complete those. If you have been if you've been in contact, or if someone from HR has reached out to you to let you know that your either your CPR, TB testing, or health certificate is out of date, and they need that from you, please ensure that you get that to HR as quickly as possible. I do know that, doctors' offices are still just, not taking walk-ins and stuff like that, but I do know that people have been managers are reaching out, HR has been reaching out to let people know that they have outdated or expired CPR, and health passport, and health certificates. My mind is all over the place right now. Also, Delaware, no real updates for Delaware aside from, I made the last update. We hired a program director. We are making great strides in Delaware. I'm very happy with the things that are happening. And so we should have more to come for that. We have 3 people that will be joining their shift team. And they sent over their names today. So Precious will be very happy about that when she comes back, because now we'll have Delaware participation and we will have a representative from every jurisdiction, which is what we were going for. And so that's all I have for DC and Delaware. Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing. Shout outs to Supportive Employment in DC. They have been rocking it. A lot of people had interviews last week. A couple people got job offers, second interview offers. So kudos to Bonita and Lulu and their team for making it happen and getting people back to work and out the house. And that's all.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Bonita. Great job. Thank you, Brittany, for the update. Yeah, Shift. So just a note on Shift. Even though he narrowly beat me by a day or two, both George and I have gotten our Shift certifications and went through the process. And I think almost all the leadership team has as well. So we've completed that. Great course. I have to say, I was really impressed with how it's put together and just how it moves you through online. And I just thought it was really, really well done. So I certainly learned a lot through that process. I'm excited about the direction that St. John's is going and the development of our technology plan. And I just think that it holds so much hope for us for the future, for the people that we support, and then just to continue to expand our services and our offerings and how we do things. We're even looking at, could we apply that technology in different service lines? So whether it's with homeless services or whether we're already working on doing that, certainly with our retirement community at Harlan Morris. But a friend of mine works in criminal justice and he's pretty high up the food chain there. And he believes that the future in many ways is going to be remote monitoring, remote supports, remote educational and support programs for those that are parolees as they re-enter our community. So, we've wondered, could we get into that space, and leverage the competency that we're building and the expertise that we're creating, and be able to apply it in other ways. So we're just getting started, just on the fringe of this, and it's an exciting place to be. So if you are still do your shift training, please make sure that happens. It's something that as an organization, we want to get that accreditation. We want to be known for that, and we want as many people as possible going through that training. So thank you for that. All right, let me pause there, and let's see if there is anyone else that would like to give an update, please.
Alan, how you doing? It's Kwaku. Big topic stuff is what we've just talked about with, like you just talked about, the things that we've tried to do as we heard different feedback from the staff. And one of those was Paycom and the ability for staff to be able to review their time, see their benefits, make changes, and just keep all of their information updated. One of the things with that is that managers don't have the ability or the authority anymore to make changes to persons' profiles or times. So just a concerted effort with everybody, this includes me, myself, just reviewing their information in Paycom, making sure the information is correct, making sure it's updated. Additionally, if there's any problems with their time, requesting those time change requests in advance so we don't hold up payroll. And we talk about how we take making sure people get paid very seriously. So we just need everybody's help to help each other to make sure people get paid timely and accurately. So on behalf of even me, I need to apologize because I don't approve my time in time. And you send me a reminder to approve my time. So I've got to get better on that. So I just wanted to just talk about that and making sure that as we do all this work with benefits, people's information is correct, because we really want people to have what they need to be the best that they could be.
Yeah, no, Kwaku, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, it's super timely. I know we sent out a couple announcements through Rave and I think through Paycom's email, but this is really important because we're about to enter open enrollment. That kicks off next Wednesday. And so now is the perfect time to make sure that you go in on Paycom and that you've got everything correct and updated, your address, your beneficiaries, everything that you could possibly have, any contact information. We need that to be as up to date as possible. So we're only as good as that information that's in there, on you. And we've unfortunately had situations where for whatever reason, something has happened, we've gone in to get information on, say, a beneficiary, only to find out that someone had listed somebody. So we want to make sure that that's never the situation. And we want to make sure that your benefits and all information get locked in appropriately, tied to kind of all of your correct information. So please go ahead and use this time between now and Wednesday to just update, get into Paycom and double check your information and make sure it's accurate. Okay, we're still launching the poll. Not everyone has taken it yet. If you're just coming into the meeting, please take the Juneteenth poll. It is anonymous. No one will know how you respond, and just give us some ideas. The leadership team wants to thoughtfully recognize Juneteenth this year, and we're just looking for your feedback. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the category with the most votes is necessarily the direction we're going to go. We may do something this year and do something different next year, but we would like your input. We want to be able to hear directly from you what you think. So please go ahead and take that poll if you haven't yet. I'll be shutting it down soon. Okay. Any other updates that people would like to give?
I'll go. There's not too much going on right now. We do have a couple of grants going in today for the Ithaca shelter. Fingers crossed. We find out in August if they're going to move forward, and then we would do a full proposal. And we're working on our next mailing, so that'll be coming out in June, and working on some acquisition as well to go out this summer. So that's the big things. And Amanda's finishing up. I don't know if she's bugged out it yet. She's finishing up a video she shot last week highlighting a bunch of the tech that we've been using to showcase how we're leading that in our field. So some good things going on.
Yeah, the grants are super exciting. I mean, everyone, fingers, arms, toes, everything you can cross, get across, because we're going in for, we have 2 submissions that we're asking for. One that would substantially expand services out of the Friendship Center, that's part of the shelter facility, and it would provide aftercare, which is really important in helping people both access housing the first time, but also not fall back into homelessness once they are housed. So, and then also access to food as well. So huge ask there. And then we're also asking that they would consider helping us purchase the facility and actually purchase the building. That would really help us save dollars and take those dollars that are saved and put it back into programming in the facility itself to make it better for those that we're serving. And then it allows other opportunities for maybe different programming down the road. So super exciting. Just, hats off to the marketing team and those that have been working hard with them, Roy, Rich, to try to make this grant a successful one as we get it in. And again, it's a longer process. We do the initial application, then they review, then they decide if they wanted to really do a deeper dive review. And so we would have to submit more, present more, but good things happening all the way around there. So, all right, let me pause. Thank you very much, Bessie. Any other updates that people would like to share?
Hello, Alan. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Roy.
Very, very, very excited about the potential for this grant money. If it comes through, it could mean some great things for our clientele here. So very excited about that. And I think we present a good case. So I think we have a good shot at this. At least that's my initial thought. Speaking of the Friendship Center, there are a couple of things as things begin to open up here. We're beginning to open up slowly here with the Friendship Center. As you all know, we had to completely change the way we operated and did business and provided the services that we provide after COVID, and things are beginning to loosen up a little bit. The Friendship Center is a gathering place. So, but in New York, it is still, it falls in under the category as similar to a healthcare facility. So there's still a mask mandate in place. But we are going to begin to offer some services that we had prior to COVID, such as some of the programming. Kate's going to start her art class again soon. We've been given the go-ahead to the shelter went from a 20 shelter to a 10-bed shelter, and we're sort of increasing those numbers a little bit. So things are beginning to open up slowly, and we're very excited about that. So that's about it from New York.
Thanks, Roy. No, appreciate that. Yeah, it would be super exciting. And I agree with you. I think that the grants are really well written. And, you know, it's super impressive what the Ithaca team has done over the course of the last year. And really the last couple of years since they took over the shelter. They had to take it over in the middle of winter. They were learning it as they went. Fortunately, some of the staff that were working with the previous organization came on board with St. John's, and that certainly helped. But first, they had a historic record year in volume and numbers of people that needed service, followed by, you know, a pandemic. So, and they had to pivot in a lot of different ways. So it's great to hear that things are kind of starting to get back to normal for them, and just, you know, hats off and shout outs to the Ithaca team for all that they're doing to serve people and help them find housing, help them not be homeless, and certainly create space for them to feel safe and be able to kind of get the resources they need to move forward with their life. So, all right, who's up next?
Happy Friday, everybody.
Hey, Rich.
Hey, Rich.
So Roy's been stuck with me a lot this week, and he and others have already shared some of the exciting news going on there. The leadership team has also started to put together our strategic plan and report back to the board. And I guess it's just really a shout out to the entire team. When you really start, when you take a step back and really take a look at everything that this team and this organization is doing on a day-by-day basis, the hundreds or thousands of initiatives and programs and projects and services, it really is incredible, just in scope and scale. And I'm also sort of always impressed with sort of the authenticity of our approach. So just, it's always nice to see that. I'm certainly humbled just to be part of an organization that seems to do so much, so well, and so caringly. So that's it for me.
Thank you, Rich.
If I could join in with HR news, and everyone know I'm just going to talk about open enrollment. So yay, happy Friday, team. Just to let everyone know that our open enrollment for new benefit plan year, it would begin on Monday, which is June the 9th. It will also end on June the 15th, which is Tuesday, midnight. So please, during that timeline, please do your shopping, take your time, talk to your spouse, your family, who's gonna cover the children, what you're gonna do, see the rates, everything. Make sure you do that before June 15th midnight. We'll greatly appreciate it. The first open enrollment meeting, it will be via Zoom on Wednesday, June the 9th at 10 a.m. I send the invite today to everyone with a St. John's email address. Everyone else, you will receive the Zoom link via Terap, ESCOM. The second meeting will be via Zoom also, and it's going to be on Friday, June the 11th at 3:30 p.m. And it will be following our next town hall meeting. So whatever from the first meeting, we're going to have that discussion at town hall, and we definitely going to know at the second open enrollment meeting, you know, everything, all the questions, everything of such. That should be the final meeting, and by then everyone would be able to get all the details that they need. So you will also receive your new benefit summaries shortly. So please make sure you take some time to review our current benefits and decide your new need for this plan year, so you'll be able to make correct elections. We're still working on some fine tuning some stuff, trying to get everything up and running. After I finish here. I gotta log out because I gotta go and deal with some stuff with Stephanie and everyone else. But please, don't take this for granted. Make sure if you're benefit eligible and you need benefits. A lot of people realize after COVID-19, it's essential. Make sure you steal it and take this great opportunity. Also, make an effort to at least attend one of the enrollment meeting. We know the discussion at the forum, you will definitely gain so much insight about our benefits and what we have to offer. We'll also have some representative there, our benefit coordinator team, they're gonna be there. So just that forum gonna be good for you to get all the knowledge concerning your benefits. There are also gonna be a lot of materials for you to examine with each employee would be able to get all the knowledge that you need to know about your benefits and what St. John's have to offer. You will need to log into Paycom to access the new benefits and to make your election. And you have to do that no later than June the 15th. So please don't take it for granted. That window is gonna open and close. If you're eligible, make sure you take the opportunity. I'm not quite sure due to, you know, a lot of fine tuning stuff. It's not going to be an extension beyond. We're going to definitely, as the days go by, we'll let you know, but don't take June the 15th for granted. I'm asking everyone. The benefits rep, also the HR team, we're going to be available to assist anyone. Also, they're going to be reaching out to everyone as you need us. As usual in Paycom, please go into Paycom, update your personal information, make sure your dependents, make sure your beneficiaries, just your information in Paycom to be up to date. We'll greatly appreciate that. I sent an email today concerning time cards. Please reminding everyone to maintain timeliness with the approval process. And just for you to help us to be efficient, if you can adhere to the email that I sent. Concerning training, the performance management training, Gloria is still conducting that. So please make sure at least you attend one of those trainings. We'll greatly appreciate it. And basically is the open enrollment stuff we're dealing right now. Please, 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 let's make this one happen. Let's knock it out of the park. So look for all the communications, whichever meeting you're gonna attend, accept the invitation. Make sure you're present there. You need any help, contact HR. We are here always to serve you, and we'll make sure that you get everything on time. So yes, that's all I have to say. Thank you, team.
Thank you, Ro. Actually, a couple things that I just want to highlight. First, Renita, if you would put the dates and times of those meetings in the chat, that would be great. Just so that people have that. And then I don't think we have anybody here that can drop it into YouTube. So I might try to do that as well at some point in time. Maybe I'll copy and paste, see if that'll work. Just a couple of things I want to highlight for you. You know, open enrollment is incredibly important. The HR team, the leadership team have been working for months with our broker to try to prepare for this. We've got a low deductible plan and we have a high deductible plan. So we're trying to meet the different needs that our staff have across the organization by providing two different options. And there is a significant change that's happening this year that you'll learn about, which is why it's important to engage with open enrollment early and start reading that information and understanding it sooner versus later, and not waiting until kind of the 15th to kind of try to like figure it all out. For example, one of the changes is with one of our providers, and we are going to be moving from TASK over to BRI or BRI. I'm not sure what they go by, but it's BRI. TASK is the group that covers our flex plan. They cover our HRA if you're on the high deductible plan. And so we are shifting those services over to BRI. We believe that's going to be a good move for our employees. It means you'll have one card as opposed to two if you happen to have both of those plans. And they're quicker in terms of their turnaround of reimbursements. If I remember correctly, they do that daily, if I remember correctly. So There's some good reasons. We know that there's been some challenges at various times. We've heard loud and clear from you all that, and I've experienced it personally, that there's just been some challenges within task systems and kind of accessing some of the portal information. And especially if you have Flex and HRA, those systems don't talk to each other. And so you actually have to log in 2 different times. All that we believe goes away by going to BRI. So that's really important to be aware of. And just, you'll see that and you'll wonder, hey, where'd tasks go? Well, we're no longer going to be working with them in that capacity. And then there's some changes and modifications that are taking place to both the low deductible and the high deductible plans. And those are all about managing the costs, frankly. If you can think about it, we spend the majority of our budget. So our budget's about $37 million. The majority of that budget is on people, right? And it's on payroll. And it should be, because we're a people's human service organization. The second largest cost is on health insurance and providing those benefits to staff. And we are going to spend about $2.4 million in the coming plan year on our health insurance and being able to offer those benefits to our staff that work so hard across the whole agency. That's up significantly. So it's gone up significantly since I've been with St. John's over the last 3.5 years. And we, I think last year paid around 2.1, 2.2. In this plan year, it's going up between about $250,000 or more. And so to mitigate some of those costs, we've had to make some plan adjustments on the deductibles. We've had to make some plan adjustments on some elements of co-insurance, and we've had to make some plan adjustments on some elements of the drugs and prescription drugs particularly. So, so it's really important that you engage early. I still believe that we have a strong benefit package that we offer our employees. But it's complicated. You know, healthcare is a complicated thing, and we want to make sure that you're able to get the benefits that are right for you. So the sooner that you can engage, the better. I think it's really would be my message. The other thing that we're going to try to do over the coming year, and we don't have all the hows yet figured out on what this is going to look like, but we realize that we really need to strengthen our educational process relative to the benefits. Because you have options and I have options, you know, as employees that are participants in the plan. And there's ways to make our personal dollars go further. And there's ways to save money for ourselves through claims and through decisions that we make in terms of which providers we go to, either for our ongoing primary care or for specialty care that comes up. Which prescriptions to use. There's options whether we use a generic or a brand or a preferred drug. You know, all of those are options. And we just want to make sure that you know what options you have in order to get the best care first and foremost, but then also to make your dollars go further and maybe save you some money. And the cool thing is that when you save money, we save money too as an organization. And that can help us all manage the ever increasing costs of healthcare and be able to maybe, instead of seeing a $250,000 increase next year, maybe we can keep that less than $250,000 or even static if possible. But that all comes back to how we together use the plan. We certainly want you to use the plan. That's why you have health insurance. We want you to absolutely use it. But we're going to do a more robust job at trying to educate and make you aware of your options when you're using your benefits in order to stretch your dollars further, get the care that you need, and also save St. John's money too. So, so we're all in this together when it comes to health insurance, and we want to make sure that you know about your options. So attend a meeting, reach out to HR, read whatever materials come your way, go on Paycom, make sure all your information is up to date, and that when it's time for open enrollment, that's how you'll be selecting your options. Okay. I'll pause there. Any other updates that we have? That is a big one. That is a primary one we wanted to highlight this week was open enrollment. But are there other updates that we would like to share? And while we're waiting for that, I'm just sharing the polling results with you all. So thank you for participating in the poll. Looks like from the poll standpoint, the winner was exchanging a PTO day, followed by historic or cultural educational events, followed by social events, and then service events. So really cool. Thank you for that feedback. And I'm going to attempt just to copy and paste if I can. I don't know if I can. Oh, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay. June 9th at 10. Okay. All right. Any other updates that we would like to share? Anybody at all? Right. I'm not hearing any right now, but I'm going to keep it open for a second, just as June 11th at 3:30, put in the next meeting. And then Ronita, just so I can drop it into the Zoom, it's June 9th to June 15th, correct? Is our open enrollment period?
Our period is going to begin on Monday, which is the 7th, and it's going to end on the 15th. Our meeting's going to be on the 9th, which is the Wednesday, and then the second meeting is going to be on the 15th.
Okay, for some reason I thought Nick had said in an email today, Wednesday, but that's fine. I'll put in the 7th to the 15th. And then register by Paycom, correct? Or select?
Yes, you will have to go into Paycom and make your elections.
All right, just dropping these things into the notes in the chat for those that are watching YouTube. Okay, let me pause there and just open it up. Are there any questions? Are there any highlights? Are there any shout outs to staff? Are there any stories to tell about the people we support and what they've done and accomplished in the last week? Okay, I'm not hearing any. So if there isn't any, then I would just say, everybody have a wonderful weekend. We're gonna wrap up early, but that makes sense because we didn't have as many people here today. I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful weekend, and I hope that you find time with your family, with your loved ones, for yourself, just to rest and recharge. If you're coming in to your shift this weekend, thank you so much for what you do. Thank you for working so hard, for standing in the gap, and for fulfilling the mission of St. John's. Thank you for caring so much about the people that we support. Thank you for taking the time to join us. If you're watching this recorded, thank you so much for going online and doing that. We wish you all the very best. Thank you for all of your efforts. And everyone, have a great weekend and a great kickoff to Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. Do something to celebrate inclusion and love our neighbors. All right, take care, everyone. Talk to you later.
Bye, everyone.